The battle lines are drawn. Former President Donald Trump has thrown down the gauntlet. He's looking straight at Apple, the trillion-dollar behemoth, and his message is stark. Build your iPhones in America or face a 25% tariff. Trump says he told Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, directly. The message is loud and clear. This isn't just about iPhones. It's about who these massive corporations serve. Trump demands a seismic shift. He wants Apple to bring its manufacturing home. He's not impressed with their factories in China or their new ventures in India. He believes American companies should make American products using American hands. And don't think for a moment Apple is the only one in the crosshairs. Trump has made it known that other tech giants like Samsung could face the same music. The president is trying to rewrite the rules of global trade, one tariff threat at a time. He wants to force these companies to choose America or the global marketplace. Trump's ultimatum to Apple is more than just a headline. It's a declaration of war against the status quo. The question now is, will Apple listen, or will they call his bluff? Why is Donald Trump so fixated on Apple making iPhones in America? It's central to his worldview. Make America great again. He sees companies like Apple, with their global supply chains, as part of the problem. He's furious about Apple's deepening ties with India for iPhone production. To him, it's a betrayal of American workers and industry. The MAGA ideology is about economic nationalism, putting America first. Trump believes domestic manufacturing creates a virtuous cycle. More jobs, stronger communities, a revitalized industrial base. He sees the iPhone, a symbol of American ingenuity, being assembled by foreign hands as a deep insult. This crusade for domestic production is a cornerstone of Trump's economic philosophy. He's always been a critic of global trade deals that he believes have sold out American workers. The pressure on Apple is just the latest example of this relentless push. Trump demands Apple build iPhones in the USA, making a statement about the kind of country he wants America to be. A country that values its own workers and controls its own economic destiny. A country that stands up to powerful corporations. It's a bold vision, resonating with millions of Americans who feel left behind by globalization. The question is, will Apple heed the call? Apple sees things differently. For decades, they've built a global empire by diversifying their manufacturing operations. Their strategy is about efficiency, tapping into specialized skills, and being close to emerging markets. They've created a complex network of suppliers and assemblers to produce millions of devices at the lowest cost. A huge piece of this puzzle is India. Apple is investing heavily in India, building up manufacturing capacity. India offers a massive, growing market and a new low-cost manufacturing hub. Apple sees India as key to its future, a place to build and sell products. This isn't just about saving money, it's a strategic play for global dominance. And Apple isn't alone in this. Big tech operates on this model. Chase the lowest wages, find favorable regulations, and build a lean supply chain. This model has made these companies wealthy, but at what cost to countries like ours? So, when Trump says, build them here, Apple executives likely scoff. They argue he doesn't understand their business or the global economy. But maybe it's they who don't understand. Maybe they've forgotten the country that provided the innovation, education, stability, and market that allowed them to become Apple. The question isn't just why not America? The real question is, why not America anymore? It's a challenge to Apple's global strategy, a call to remember their roots, and a demand to prioritize American interests. Despite Trump's threats, Apple seems determined to press ahead with its Make in India dream. Business analysts say Apple is committed to India. Why? Because India offers cheap labor and a vast untapped market. It's the next frontier for global capitalism, and Apple wants to plant its flag there. The allure of India is powerful. Over 1 billion people, a growing middle class, and a huge appetite for technology. By manufacturing locally, they can lower prices, navigate import duties, and gain a competitive edge. It's a long-term strategy, thinking about the next decade. India is actively courting companies like Apple with incentives and a business-friendly environment. They have a massive, cheaper workforce. Apple sees India as a way to diversify its manufacturing away from China. So, as Trump fumes, Apple expands its Indian operations. It's a calculated risk. They're betting the benefits of being in India will outweigh any US penalties. Or perhaps they believe they can manage the politics and continue business as usual. It's a high-stakes gamble, and it shows a disregard for concerns raised at home. The so-called experts say it's impossible to build iPhones in America. They claim the global supply chains are too complex, too entrenched in Asia. Recreating that intricate web of suppliers and factories in the US? Impractical, they cry. But is it really impossible? Or is it just that they don't want it to be possible? Then there's the cost. Labor in America is expensive. Building new factories would require massive investment. Training workers would take time and money. And who would pay for all this? The consumer, of course. They warn that a US-made iPhone would be significantly more expensive. But what if they're wrong? What if they underestimate American ingenuity and our ability to adapt? What if the real cost is the erosion of our industrial base and dependence on foreign powers? The truth is, can't often means won't. It means the corporate executives prefer the current arrangement that maximizes their profits. So, when they tell you it's impossible to build iPhones in America, ask yourself, impossible for whom? And who benefits from us believing that lie? Perhaps the price of patriotism isn't as high as the price of doing nothing. What happens if Trump, or a future administration, actually pulls the trigger? A 25% tariff on iPhones made overseas. That's a massive hit. But many Wall Street analysts think Apple might just eat it. They believe it could be cheaper for Apple to pay the tariffs than to bring those jobs back to America. The cost of betraying American workers might be less than the cost of employing them. Dismantling Apple's global supply chain and rebuilding it in the US would be astronomically expensive. Compared to that, a 25% tariff might seem like the lesser evil. Apple has mountains of cash. They could absorb some of the cost, pass some on to consumers, and keep their overseas factories humming. It's a cold, hard calculation. But this is a high-stakes poker game. The tariff threats are real, but so is the uncertainty. Will they be implemented? Will they stick? Could they spark a wider trade war? This uncertainty makes it difficult for companies like Apple to plan long-term. They're caught between political pressure to reshore and economic incentives to stay global. The era of consequence-free globalization might be coming to an end, and not a moment too soon. This saga has strained the relationship between Trump and Apple's CEO, Tim Cook. They've met, they've talked, but Trump's public pronouncements point to a deep disagreement. A chasm between Trump's vision for America and Apple's global empire. So, what's Apple to do? They're caught in a political vice. One option is more negotiation, more quiet talks. They'll try to find a compromise, promise more investment and jobs in the US. They'll highlight their existing contributions to the US economy. But what if that doesn't work? What if the tariffs come anyway? Apple might play hardball. They could sue, challenge the legality of the tariffs in court. It would be a messy, protracted legal battle. But it's a path they might take if they feel cornered. Amidst this tension, Apple is also making a show of investing in America. They've announced a $500 billion investment plan for the US new campuses, new data centers, thousands of new jobs. Is this a genuine commitment to America, or a calculated PR move? For many Americans, these promises might ring hollow. Too little, too late.